is I'm going to go with the ice barefoot on the beach, you know, when you feel the cool sand on your toes. It's very, very tactile. One of the ways that people learn, is the kinesthetic learner, is by touching. And that's what I really enjoy in my classes, when people start touching this and they feel it and they feel the power of it manipulating in their fingers. And I can change my mind, put the head up, put the head down. This isn't wrong, it's just different. It's kind of empowering. I've actually just made it a little longer then. Okay, I'm going to bring that jawline in a little better. This is working pretty good. I'm not displeased with it. I promise the head won't. So I may have to cheat and put something in here to hold my head up temporarily. Different times of year, I do a lot of art shows, and when I do an outside show and the air and the sunlight will make it dry out too fast, and sometimes I do an inside show and the air conditioning's going and it dries very slow. So the dry factor on this clay getting stiff and pliable will depend on how much warm air or cool air is moving over it. Go back to the nose again. All righty. Now, I've done the primary shapes and the secondary shapes. I'm down to detail. Now, if I get you guys to swing over to this dragon here, it has a lot of secondary shapes. It has this big fin here. It has this movement here, which I saw in a dragon book, and I liked it. And it's got a series of horns. Now, I don't know what our time and how manic I get here, but I'm going to try to put some of that detail to give our dragon a little more detail here. Okay? Now, I've got those nostrils built up, holding that jaw up. You'll notice a really nice pattern on the dragon here. If I can get you to come in there, it's really did a good job on that. And the other dragon has good pattern too. I'm going to go ahead and just lay that out. You'll see it's a grid pattern. And again, just using a simple tool here, I'm going to just lay it out the way artists would call a quick sketch or thumbnail sketch or layout. It starts big at the bottom and gets smaller as it comes to the top. Now, later, I'll come back and get a little angle retentive. I think in weaving it's called warp and weft. One's go left and right, one go up and down. So we're warping and wefting here. Okay, that's all it was to it. And later I'll go back and put a little individual attention to it. And I hope you guys can follow this. I'm going a little faster than I would like to, but we do have the clock to contend with here. Don't think they'll let me run over into someone else's show. All right? That actually is not too bad either. Okay. I'm having good luck. Luck has a lot to do with it. Of course, Mark Twain said, the harder I work, the luckier I get. So maybe working hard here will make me get lucky. Okay. I now have textured the face. I use an alligator or snake, and I notice that the texture gets smaller as it goes down the face and bigger on other parts of the body. There's a lot of theories where the dragon came from. One of my favorite theories is, and everybody has one, was during the Crusades. I think they started in 1099, when these European, French and Germans, Englishmen, went over to the Middle East to fight the holy wars. Like men have done for centuries, when they came back home and they're telling their friends about the many adventures they had, they told about fighting this monster that they found over there that wasn't indigenous to England. And this monster was scaly, and it chased fair maidens, and they had their trusty rusty claymore swords and spears, and they went out and they slayed this monster, this dragon. You should have seen it. You should have been there. It was a big, scary booger bear. And they actually were talking about a real animal. They were talking about the alligators that they saw on the Nile. And nobody had seen alligators in England, so it grew every time they told the story. So I use alligators a lot when I'm doing this. Okay, well, alligators don't have horns, and the horns kind of grew out of the story being told. But interestingly enough, I'm doing the horns now. I'm making a piece of clay, going to cut it in half. Interesting enough, Hang Dai, the emperor there, the Yellow Emperor in China, he had a snake on his shield, on his flag. And every time that he conquered another warlord or emperor, shogun, he would take their symbol and add it to his, like a medal, stick it there to his shield. So he started out with a snake. Somebody else had an eagle, so there came the talons, and somebody else had a bull, so that's where the horns came from. I love that theory. I don't know if it's true. It's story's 5,000 years old, so I can't ask anybody that was there. So here it is. See, I roll this, made two, cut them in half, and now I'm going to make this guy series of horns. I'm going to be good old Hang Dai that's conquering all of my enemies, and every time I conquer, I'm going to take their symbols and put it onto my dragon. This is amazing, like these fish stories, they keep growing. So a lot of our history. What is the other quote that I like so much? The history of the vanquished is the propaganda of the victors. So whoever wins gets to write the history. So I'm going to write that I was very courageous, and the animal that I killed was big and ferocious and was attacking a fair maiden. Poor dragon man got a lot of bad press. All right, there's one. Notice, hopefully, that I put a hole in first. It's called male-female joint here. Got a hole. I put the water in. We know that water works like glue. And then I plug the positive into the negative. That way it's less likely to fall off. And these horns come up. These go back. And I found out I sell a lot of these, and I have to ship them. And they break less when they're going backward like that. All right? So they're the major set. Also, it's fatter at the base and thinner on the top. We also can do these curlicues or spiral. Every time that I do one, I do it a little bit different. Yeah, this is just like my life and income tax. I make it up as I go along. All right, there's a set. Here's another set. Fat in the middle and skinny on both ends like a mustache, all right? So then when I tear it, I got two equal pieces, like legs, all right? Then I put the holes in here so it'll stick. I put the water. You got to remember to hang that there so I don't block your shot. Put that in. This is a pretty good-looking dragon, okay? Makeshift turntable that I have here. Now, I'm going to do the eyes next. Most people, when doing sculpture, they over-relate to the eyes, make them too big, like other parts of the body that they're aware of. They make it too big. Here we go. We know this trick already. You guys are veterans. Take a ball of clay, tear it in two, so I have two equal balls, roll them. Notice how my hands are working clockwise and counterclockwise, like a husband and wife working together in opposite directions at the same time. All right, I'm a happily married man. I learned that trick. All right, that makes a ball. It fits into the palm of your hand. See there? So that little palm right there. Put it right in the eye socket. See, that worked? Put it in the eye socket. Now I got to get down to detail. The only other secondary thing I haven't made was the lower lip. That's where the attitude comes from. Same trick. Mustache. Roll it. Fat in the middle, skinny on both ends. Watch how this is going to change it and give it some expression. Water works like glue. I like this guy. Got some attitude. If he's a southern dragon, he got the lip out. Your mama. Okay. Got some major attitude working. This working good? This is working good. I like it. I think you hold that head up. Okay. Now I'm going to start to play with it just a little bit to give it some movement. Put a hitch in the giddy up. Now let's see. Where are we now? Okay, not too bad a shape. Notice I'm going to fix that hole that was in the chest there. Not too bad a shape. Okay, here we go. Back to the drawing board.